All right, hey, welcome to Trenny and C.
Hello.
He's Trenny, I'm C, and we do whiskey reviews, if you didn't already know that. And we'd like to welcome all new bourbon drinkers, as well as our regular whiskey researchers who tune in every Thursday to see what we're reviewing.
And new subscribers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We love our subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Tonight's video, if you didn't read the title, is Best Beginner Bourbons.
All right, so stick around and find out what we got to say.
Trenny and C, drinking whiskey, describing all the flavors for you and me. Irish, Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
Okay, welcome back. So we're talking about best beginner bourbons today. We've got a list of 8 that we've chosen for various reasons. We'll get into that, right? But we wanted to kind of just quickly discuss like the things that we considered.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the people some of the things we've considered here?
Well, obviously, the first thing people go for in any spirit that they drink is taste. So, is it easy on the palate for a beginner?
Yeah, right.
Or is it harsh and maybe turns people away?
Is it too strong?
Too
Is
strong?
it too rough?
Is it too...
Is it too heavy?
Has too many rye notes, that kind of thing. The price versus the quality is huge because sometimes you buy an expensive whiskey, I don't know, like the Duke, and it's $80, and you can just buy a bottle of wild turkey essentially.
As a new bourbon drinker, you want to be able to find something in a reasonable price range because it's always as a newbie, it's a bit of a gamble at all times because you maybe still don't know if you're into bourbon.
Exactly. Some people start with Scotch and move over.
And vice versa.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's what I did. What? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I started with bourbon.
The other thing is the diversity of how we drink this whiskey, this bourbon. What one goes well with being neat by itself, or what's good with ice or water or a mixer or anything like that. So
just a cocktail
yeah.
drinker. So we think that our list, we've got a good coverage of all of these various factors.
Covers a big spectrum.
And I think just another kind of a hint for new people is people always want to tell you when you're a new whiskey drinker, you don't drink it that way.
Yeah.
You put water in it.
Yeah, or you mix it with soda.
Yeah. You never mix with soda. So drink it however you want to drink it. You can drink it neat with nothing mixed in it at all. You can drink it with just ice cubes. You can put it with those kind of goofy whiskey stones. You can mix
just
it with
a bit
Coke.
of water, even just a bit of water or Coca-Cola, whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
I think a lot of people start with, what's this? Well, a bottle of Jim Beam. I'll mix that with Coke.
Yeah.
And fine, whatever, do it. As long as it gets you into that idea.
And then later, try it by itself. Or just try different stuff. Experiment. That's why we call it whiskey research. So you can experiment with it.
That's right.
So have fun with it. And if someone tells you, you're doing it wrong, be like, hey, shut the fuck up. All right.
I think you said it best right there a second ago. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Let's roll this thing out.
Okay, here we go.
What's a best beginner bourbon? Give us one.
We're gonna start with Jim Beam, the regular Jim bourbon, because this is kind of
the white label.
The white label. It's the one that's the most recognizable, probably the most readily available.
Super cheap.
It's cheap. You can drink it on ice. You can mix it. If you're going camping, bring it with you. And
it's the best-selling bourbon in the world for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do anything with it.
There's going to be a lot of naysayers. They're like, well, how can you say that? Well, it is the highest sold bourbon on the planet for a reason. This is a nice big glass.
Heck of a pour.
Yeah.
As a new person, I don't recommend pouring that much, but go for it.
This isn't Jim Beam, just saying. Okay. I think for that reason, we picked Jim Beam as our first one. A lot of people, it is their intro.
It's our go-to, though.
Yeah, and it's a go-to.
It's our go-to for bulk drinking.
Yeah, it really is, because you take it with a group of friends and you can share it, and you don't feel like you're losing out on some of your best bourbon.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone enjoys it.
All right, let's go.
What's next? This is a little step above.
Yeah.
We got the Buffalo Trace Bourbon. This is this is the beginner in the Buffalo Trace range.
For the most part.
For the most part.
They do have some real low-end stuff, but this is...
But for the straight up Buffalo Trace product, this is actually one of those ones that, you know, after you've tried this a whole bunch and you maybe try this neat or on ice or with a bit of water, you go, oh, this is some actual flavor happening.
And this is actually a great cocktail bourbon too.
Yeah.
Some real great cocktails. Buffalo Trace, if you're new to bourbon, look up their distillery. They make from the bottom-ish all the way to the very top range stuff comes
They
from
do
Buffalo
it all.
Trace. Yeah.
They do it all. Okay, let's move on. This one is Woodford Reserve. I think one of the reasons we chose this is because it is still an everyday, every man's bourbon.
Yeah.
However, for a flavor profile, completely different. Yeah. This one is woody and oaky and has that kind of toffee sweetness to it, which is very different than these other two.
It's a bartender staple for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's keep her going.
Let's keep it going. Okay, this is the Weller Special Reserve. The reason we put this in this list is because it is a wheated bourbon, meaning most bourbon is 51% corn. Well, this is too, but
at least 51%.
At least 51% corn to be called a bourbon. However, they sometimes use rye or malted barley, where this one uses wheat, and it's a nice light spirit with a lot of flavor, sweetness. It's great.
It's excellent. I'll move these back to the back row, and you can move up to the next batch in the front. Next in line, what do we got?
This is the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Reason we chose this in this order is because this is the first one that is an actual bottled in bond, which essentially means...
bottled in bond is kind of a government-regulated way of ensuring quality. There's quite a few rules to it, but really what it comes down to is that it ensures a minimum age and a minimum percentage of alcohol, amongst other things. But this is a 50%. Anything that's bottled in bond is going to be 50%. So you can get into the more details of it. I'm not going to go into it right now because I can't really remember all of the stuff to it. But bottle and bond is essentially a quality stamp.
Yeah, it really is. So I think with a lot of people that are coming from the Scotch world, to see that bourbons are bottled at a higher strength than a lot of scotches. A lot of scotches are standard 40%, and then you pay extortionate prices for things that are higher. Bourbons generally are a little bit higher in strength, which is a nice feature because more strength of alcohol is more flavor.
And this is kind of like step 2 in the Evan Williams lineup. Evan Williams has a black label. It's the entry level. This is a little bit higher up than that. Nothing wrong with the black label too, but this is a nice place to start for a beginner.
Yeah.
If you're kind of going up in alcohol volume a little bit higher.
Okay, I'm going to show you this one. This is the Elijah Craig 12-year-old.
Real classic. Yeah. Oh,
this one is, for myself, the first real bourbon that I kind of bought myself beyond, like, Jim Beam.
Beyond entry level.
Beyond entry level. It has an age statement, which a lot of bourbon does not have. They're actually starting to phase that out in the Elijah Craig lineup, which is too bad. But
47%.
47% alcohol, 12 years old. The depth of flavor and character in this one, you could spend all your life trying to figure it out.
It's a number 4 char too, which means it's a heavily charred barrel. Ensures a lot of flavor. It's dark, it's rich, lovely stuff.
Delicious. Okay.
Number 7, we're getting down there.
We're getting up there. Down?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, this one is Eagle Rare, 10 years old. Another age statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a beautifully crafted, well-made, and a lower price point than some really high price points.
And this is this is really the next level up at Buffalo Trace.
Right.
It's another notch up from the original regular, but it is very well rounded, very easy drinking, and it's got a nice sweetness to it. It's just really lovely stuff.
45% alcohol.
These last 3 bottles that we've introduced here, including the 4th that's coming, these are a bit of a notch up from the first 4, but they are still, you could still consider them for entry-level bourbon.
For sure.
Can I talk about the next one?
Yes, and this is controversial.
This is our controversial best beginner bourbon. And the reason that it makes the list is because it was my first bourbon. That was my first real bourbon purchase. And this one, for those people who aren't beginners, are going to say, they may say, that is not a beginner's bourbon. And to a lot of people, it's not. But the reason that I really think that it is a beginner bourbon is because I tried it and I got hooked on bourbon after this. Because this is Booker's Bourbon. It's a Jim Beam product. It's at the upper level of the Jim Beam product line. And Booker No is a former distiller there at Jim Beam. But the point is that it's really high strength bourbon.
Yeah, it's like 60. I think that one's 61.
This bottle's 63.85.
Oh wow!
And we have another bottle of Booker's that's over 65%.
Yeah.
But the flavor is incredible on this. It's got a pop. It vaporizes in your mouth. The flavor profile is so incredible that the first time you try it, you're like, whoa, that's strong. And then as it kind of vaporizes, if you really just are patient for a second and you really consider what's in your mouth there instead of just the wow of alcohol.
High alcohol. Yeah.
Now you go, oh wow, there's something happening here. Like everywhere you go on the internet, if you look at Booker's Bourbon, highly respected bourbon.
Yeah. It's basically, coming from a Scotch standpoint, when I first started getting into bourbons, this was also, I think, one of my first kind of higher quality ones. And I remember we were doing side-by-side the Scotch, and this blew some of the best Scotch out of the water. Just not because it was just high strength, but because the undernotes and the ripples of the
things that were popping up and
amazing. A whole new world, basically, in the Scotch world or in the bourbon world. It's one that makes you realize that you're alive all of a sudden.
It can
kick your ass.
It can send your senses sparking for sure.
You're not going to be wanting to drink more than like an ounce of this at a time.
Yeah,
it's not like a one to bring to a party and pass around, really.
No.
Yeah.
We hope you like our lineup of best beginner bourbons. Let us know what you think. If you think we're way off or if you think we missed something. Probably the only one that I think that we probably could have added in here too is Four Roses. Four Roses makes some great products too. We don't have a bottle on hand tonight, but
the single barrel, maybe.
Small batch is great.
They're great. Yeah.
Four Roses is also awesome. But yeah, so the point is that these are the ones that we think you can't go wrong with as a beginner. We hope you subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of reviews. Tons of information on our channel, our websites, and we hope you enjoyed this video.
And if you do decide to buy some of these and taste them along side by side watching our video, go to scoremywhiskey.com and you can enter in your own scores.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Thanks
so much.
All right.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Trenny and C.